Hello, I'm Chris. Welcome back to Marine Corner, or welcome if you're new. I did do a video on 25 in 25, 25 in 2025. I've decided to change that up because I felt like there was a lot of books, a lot of authors for the same months, and not a lot of authors for different months. So say for instance I had a lot of like crime authors, so I was thinking, well, that's a lot of books in March. Or I had a couple of horror books, and it didn't really seem to flow through the year. So I decided to scrap what I did. I have still tried to pick new to me authors and some new to me authors and some authors I've read before. So then it is a mixed bag. So I'm going to start off. I pick month by month. I've done it in months. The reason I've done that is just because I felt like then sometimes I might look for an author and go, well, what month was authors born in a certain month, or it might have just been these are books I fancied anyway, or authors I fancied anyway. So I'm going to go with this. So January, I have George Louis Borges. I only have one book by him, which is Labyrinth, which is a short story collection, which is one I've wanted to read for a while, so I decided to read that. Kurt Vonnegut, I've got quite a few to choose from, so I'm not fully decided on that yet. But Kurt Vonnegut, I have read Breakfast Champions, Slaughterhouse-Five, and Mother Night. So yeah, he's an author I've read before. In February, I've gone for William S. Burroughs. William S. Burroughs is an author I've read quite a few books of. I've read Queer, Junkie, Naked Lunch, The Age Letters, and Hippos Were Born in the Tank, which he wrote with Jack Kerouac. I've also read the Nova trilogy, so I'm not sure what I'm going to read out of what I've got left yet. And then another author is John Grisham, which is an author I've not read. For March, I've picked 3 authors because it's to get the 25 and 25. So I've gone for Patricia Cornwell, whose Kay Scarpetta novels I want to read. So I'll be starting on with the first one of that, which I think is Postmortem. Mickey Spillane, I'm carrying on with his Mike Hammer books. I'm not sure what I'm up to with that, so I'd have to have a look at that and find out. I'm also going to read James Lee Burke, which is Dave Robicheaux novels, which are set in New Orleans, which is a place I want to go to, hence wanting to read those. April, I'm going to read Thomas Harris and Robert Harris. Thomas Harris, I want to read his... I'm going to get this mixed up now if I don't check. Thomas Harris, I want to read his Hannibal novels. I want to read Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, and Hannibal. And then Robert, I'm not saying I'm going to get all 3 read, but I want to at least start them. And then I decided, I think it was Thomas Harris' birthday, so I thought, well, Robert Harris as well I want to read. I've read Fatherland by him, so I want to read his next one, which is, I think, is Enigma, in publication order, just because he's got a trilogy, so I thought I may as well read him in publication order. So that's that. And then in May, I've picked Peter Benchley. I've read Before the Island, I think, or The Deep. I'm not sure which one I've read. I think it might be The Deep. So I've decided I'm going to read Jaws. And then Kazuo Ishiguro, I've got 3 novels I've not read. I can't see them at the minute, but I've got 3 by him that I've not read. I think I've got an Artist of the Floating Sea. I can't think what they are, but I've got 3 by him, so I'll pick one of his. And then for June, I've got Cormac McCarthy, and I've got a couple of Edge books. Cormac McCarthy, sorry. I was going to read his Border trilogy because I've read The Road and I've read No Country for Old Men. So I decided, well, June on the Range, I'd read the Border trilogy by Cormac McCarthy. And I've got a couple of Edge novels. I think I've got 2 or 3. So I thought I might read 1 or 2 of those. Depending on how I get on with the Border trilogy. And then in July, I'm going to read Franz Kafka's America. I've read The Trial and the Castle so far, so that's my next one. I may also try and read Metamorphoses and other stories as well, which I've got somewhere. I can't see right now, but I've got it somewhere. And then I'll read Dean Koontz as well. He's someone I've never read before and fancied reading. In August, I've actually picked 2 books out rather than authors, just because of 2 books I wanted to read for a long time. Sea of Rust by C. Robert Cargill, just because I love the cover of that, and I've wanted to read it for ages. And then also another book I've wanted to read for ages, The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. I will show more of these and the other authors I've mentioned as I do my monthly TBRs. And then in September I've gone for a couple of authors that I've not read, and John Wyndham and J.G. Ballard. John Wyndham, I've got a couple of books. I think I've got like The Midwich Cuckoos and The Day of the Triffids. J.G. Ballard, I've got Empire of the Sun, High Rise, Cocaine Nights, and High Rise, and I've got another one but I can't remember the name of it. And then in October I've decided to go for horror. I've got James Herbert and Sean Hudson. I did think Stephen King and Richard Lehman, but I do fancy reading those before October because I'm trying to whip through Stephen King in publication order, and I've got quite a backlog of Richard Lehman books. He's a bit of a guilty pleasure. And then in November I've got Fyodor Dostoevsky, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I've got Notes from Underground by him, so that's the book I'll go with. And also Neil Gaiman. I've got Anansi Boys, I'm not sure if that's pronounced right. And also Coraline that I've not read, so it's one of those. I don't know, I feel like more Anansi Boys and Coraline at the minute, but we'll see what I fancy come towards then. And then finally I'm going to go for Henry Miller. I'll go back. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun. I'll go back to Neil Gaiman. I've read like American Gods, Good Omens, which he did with Terry Pratchett, his 2-story collections, Fragile Things, and also Smoke and Mirrors. What else did I read by him? Neverwhere, and Norse Mythology, and The Ocean at the End of the Lane as well. So I've read I read How the Marquis Got His Coat Back as well. So I've read quite a few Gaimans, so it's literally those 2 the only ones that I have that I've not read. And then for December, Henry Miller, I want to read Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. I'm not sure if that's the right order or not. And then Philip K. Dick, I think I've read Electric Dreams, and I've also read The Man in High Castle, but I did get rid of that for some stupid reason. I think I didn't like the cover, I think that's why I got rid of it, but I've replaced it since, so I could read that. I've also got Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by him as well, so that's 2 options there, but I've probably swaying towards more Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep there, just because I've read the other one, but it wouldn't matter if I have, because it would class as a book on my 200 books to read, because I've not read that edition before. Even though I have read the book, I haven't read that edition, so to me that's like a new book to me. So yeah, it was a bit quick. The reason it was quick is I didn't want to spend too much time on this, because I feel like there's some good authors there, and then like I say with George Louis Borges, I've only got 1 book to read. Kurt Vonnegut, I've got quite a selection to choose from. William S. Burroughs, I think I've got a few. John Grisham, I've got a few. Patricia Cornwell, I've got 1 because I want to read the series. Mickey Spillane, I'm carrying on with the series. James Lee Burke is 1, Neon Rain, because I want to read the story. Thomas Harris, the same, the first one in the series. Robert Harris, because I've read his debut, I may as well carry on with his in publication order. Peter Benchley, I fancy Jaws. Kazuri Ishiguro, I'm not sure, I've got 3 to choose from. I think I've got The Remains of the Day, Artist in the Floating Sea, and then one other, and I can see the cover of it, but I can't think of the name of it. Border Trilogy by Cormac McCarthy, because it's the only Cormac McCarthy I haven't read. Edge books, I've got a few to choose from, but I don't know if there's... I know it's a series, but I don't have the first one in the series, so I'm reading whichever I fancy. Franz Kafka, I've read a couple, so I fancy finishing the last two in the editions I've got, like the Penguin Modern Classic editions. Dean Koontz, I really fancy Taking, I think it's called. It's the one with the hand on the front. Memory Police and Sea of Rust, like I say, I wanted to read that because I got that for my birthday one year, and I wanted to read that because of the cover. I literally bought it for the cover, to be fair. John Wyndham, I think, will be Day of the Triffids, just because I think that's more of a well-known novel. J.G. Ballard, I'm not sure. I'm probably pick when I decide out of the 4 books I've got. James Herbert, I'm not sure what I'd go for. I'm not sure. I've read 48. James Herbert, I've read 48. The Rat series. I was thinking maybe The Fog or Fluke. Sean Hudson, I've read his Slug series, and I've read Assassins and the Erebus. I might have read one more, but I'd have to check. But I probably would read... I don't know what I'd read of Sean Hudson. I'm not sure which ones I've not read. So I'd have to look into that one more. Dostoevsky, like I said, I've got Notes for Underground, Neil Gaiman and Nancy Boyes, or the other one, Coraline. And then Henry Miller was the 2 novels, like I say, Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Philip K. Dick is a bit more leeway as well, because like... So yeah, I've got a couple of choices with him, as well as... But like I say, John Wyndham and Philip K. Dick, I probably will go for Day of the Triffids for John Wyndham, and then Philip K. Dick's Do Androids Dream for Electric Sheep, because that seems like the logical books to pick. But like I say, I might change my mind. I might go for The Man in High Castle, but that's set in stone now. Apart from the books aren't set in stone, because obviously I will choose at random when I come down to it. And so far, I think that's pretty solid. And like I say, I like the idea that... I mean, I'm starting... spoiler alert, I'm starting a few short story collections in January. Well, quite a few, but some of them I don't plan on finishing in January. But George Louis Borges would be one I want to finish, and another one I'm starting. I'm not bothered if I don't finish, because I'm starting it at the start of the year to make sure I finish it by the end of the year. But yeah, that's that. So my next video is going to be... I've got top 10 fiction, top 10 non-fiction, top 5 manga, well, top 5 comic books. There's no manga on there. Just because I